During the 2025-26 season, Harvard men's basketball finished in second place in the Ivy League standings for its best finish since 2020, returned to the Ivy League tournament behind an impressive run in conference play, and engaged in several off-the-court opportunities to continue to build the program's signature scholars and ballers identity. The Breakfast Club continued to feature as the cornerstone of the program's goal to impact student-athletes beyond the 94x50, with the Crimson welcoming in several impressive guests over the course of the fall semester, including women's basketball pioneer Nancy Lieberman, the Vartus CEO Ross Narasimhan, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, former Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb, Senator Cory Booker, lifetime director of the Muhammad Ali Center Lonnie Ali, NCAA President Charlie Baker, Los Angeles Lakers General Manager Rob Pelinka, and NBA legend Bernard King. Prior to the start of the season, the Crimson welcomed members of the Harvard community to Liberty's Pavilion for an open practice with Coach Amaker and the Crimson student-athletes, giving fans a glimpse into the team ahead of a new season. The Crimson opened its new year with a victory over crosstown foe MIT, as Thomas Batiste II, Chandler Pige, and Tay Babor all scored in double figures to lead Harvard to the season-opening win. Harvard followed that victory with an impressive second-half rally and a win over New Hampshire. Chandler Pige and Robert Hinton both scored over 20 points as the Crimson placed all 5 starters in double figures and came back from a 20-point deficit. Making a trip to upstate New York for its 2 first road contests, Harvard swept the weekend back-to-back with victories over Army and Marist. Following a strong 75-52 victory over the Black Knights, the Crimson battled to a 56-54 win over the Red Foxes, with Chandler Pige hitting a clutch 3-pointer in the game's waning moments. In another victory that came down to the wire, Harvard earned a 56-53 win over Bryant in its return to Liberty's Pavilion in its final game in the month of November. Tay Babor hit the game-winning 3-pointer with 14.1 seconds left to seal the win. Returning from the finals break, the Crimson captured an 81-53 victory over Holy Cross, with Austin Hunt leading the way with a career-high 19 points. Prior to its matchup with St. John's in New York City, the Crimson made a visit to the Jazz at Lincoln Center with a special tour coordinated by Wynton Marsalis, a former featured guest of the Breakfast Club. Both Peyton Pitts and Abner Jor impressed the group with their piano-playing skills on the visit. Closing out the calendar year, the Crimson scored a 78-68 win over Colgate with Thomas Batiste II, dropping 22 points in the victory. In its first road Ivy League contest of the season, Harvard began an impressive run in conference play with a dominant 79-54 win over Columbia. Batiste II poured in a season-high 24 points to lead the charge. Returning to Liberty's Pavilion, the Crimson made a statement over Martin Luther King Jr. weekend behind an 87-80 overtime win over Princeton and a 64-63 victory over Pitt. Rallying from a 17-point deficit, Robert Hinton and Chandler Pige each netted over 20 points on the way to the victory over the Tigers. Harvard then used 17-point outings from Babor and Batiste II to upend the Quakers and sweep the weekend. Harvard posted another impressive weekend sweep with back-to-back road wins over Brown and Yale to close the month of January. Following a hard-fought 69-59 win over the Bears, the Crimson capped the weekend with a 67-65 victory over the Bulldogs as Babor hit another game-winning 3-pointer in the contest's waning moments. The Crimson closed out a 4-game win streak with a 71-58 road victory over Dartmouth and a 56-53 home win over Brown. Moving into the stretch run of conference play, Harvard clinched a spot in the Ivy League tournament with a 73-54 win at Cornell. Tay Babor dropped a career-high 30 points to lead the Crimson to the road victory. Harvard improved to 6-0 in road conference games following another comeback win over Princeton. Facing another 17-point deficit against the Tigers, the Crimson rallied for a 58-56 victory as Robert Hinton knocked down the game-winning jumper inside of the final 5 seconds. Closing out its home slate, the Crimson sent the class of 2026 out with a victory as Harvard topped Columbia 81-71 following a senior night ceremony that that recognized two outstanding ambassadors for the program in Greg Cooper and Chandler Piget. Piget closed out his home career with a night to remember, matching his career high with 26 points. March's edition of the Breakfast Club proved a special one, as Coach Amaker allowed cameras the unique opportunity to enter the room to film a feature for ESPN's coverage of the Ivy League tournament, as the Crimson welcomed Jay Johnson, the former U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security, to Cambridge. On the road to the Ivy League tournament, the Crimson paid a special visit to the Baseball Hall of Fame with a staff from the Hall, welcoming the program for a special tour. Making its competitive return to Ivy Madness for the first time since 2019, the Crimson took part in a full day of activities prior to game day, with Harvard holding both closed and open practices and meeting with the media in multiple venues on the eve of the tournament before dropping a narrow decision to pin in overtime in the semifinals. Following the conclusion of the season, the Crimson took home multiple awards, including unanimous first-team All-Ivy honors for Robert Hinton, second-team All-Ivy accolades for Chandler Piget and Thomas Batiste II, and Ivy League Co-Coaching Staff of the Year laurels for the Crimson's coaching staff. Among the Crimson's other honors, Ben Eisendrath earned Ivy Madness All-Tournament Team honors. Piget gained Academic All-Ivy. Hinton garnered first-team NABC All-District, and 4 members of the Crimson earned Academic All-District. Behind its positive momentum from a season that demonstrated the program's upward trajectory and a battle-tested, cohesive group of student-athletes returning for the 2026-27 season, Harvard is poised to continue to achieve success on the court, develop young men into leaders, and cultivate a program that is bigger than basketball.